Hi, my name is Julianne, also known as Roadrunner, and in 2022 I hiked the entire Appalachian Trail northbound from Springer Mountain, Georgia to Katahdin, Maine, and today I want to talk about the food on the trail. A few of my subscribers have asked about what are the eating habits on trail, what did I eat, what did I like, and what didn't I like about the trail food in particular. So I made a little list and then I thought about going out shopping and just kind of buying the things that I wanted to show you. But then, hello Google, we have little pictures that I can show you and I'll just put them into the video so you can see exactly what I ate. So let's start with breakfast. Just as I started hiking the AT, I thought I would be able to hike the entire trail not eating any gluten, or at least reducing the consumption of gluten. I am not allergic to gluten. I don't have a gluten intolerance. I just know gluten is not really good for you. And so I wanted to reduce the amount of eating gluten. So when I started out the journey, I started out with oatmeal and honey. I brought gluten-free oatmeal and I brought some honey in a bigger bottle. And I decided, yeah, I'll eat oatmeal every single morning. I did that for 2, 3, 4 days. But what I didn't really enjoy about it is having to clean the pot. When you put the oatmeal into a pot, I'm sure you are aware when you eat oatmeal at home, oatmeal dries really quickly. It kind of leaves pretty dirty residue compared to other food. And having to clean my pot every morning just didn't seem very efficient. So I thought about maybe purchasing the small packs of oatmeal. First of all, finding gluten-free oatmeal packs is almost impossible. But at some point in my journey, I realized eating gluten-free is really not an option anymore if I wanted to maintain my energy. And so I looked at the different oatmeal packs, started buying some, and when you put the water into them, you can actually put them directly into the packets. They won't shrivel up or anything like that, and you can just eat right from those. I didn't really enjoy that. First of all, the oatmeal pack seemed very artificial, the flavor seemed artificial, and then on top of that, the little packs themselves just were not enough. I would have had to eat like 3, 4 packs, and that just seems like a waste of time, or it just seems, again, not being very efficient. Just to do 1 pack each time, putting hot water into it just wasn't really fun. My second choice, or the second food that I tried for mornings, for breakfast, were the Uncrustables. Now that was a really good choice. Uncrustables, usually you warm them up in a toaster oven or in a toaster, but we of course don't have that handy on the trail, so we just ate them thawed out. The Uncrustables, and I did the ones with peanut butter and jelly. They come out either with strawberry jam or jelly and grape jelly, but they also come with Nutella. I did not try the one with Nutella, even though I'm German. I know, I get it, but I just did the peanut butter and jelly. Now, how long do they last? I would say they last about 3 days in your pack, where they still taste decent. On the 4th day, they get really not so tasty, but you can still survive on eating the Uncrustables. And usually I would eat about 2 per day or 2 per morning, and they're really quite tasty. Peanut butter and jam, I mean, that was really, really good. Another option that I did after a while, when I just was so over Uncrustables because of them tasting so crazy after the 4th day, I did try some cinnamon raisin bread, and I got that idea from little chap. He bought that one time, and at first was thinking, not really, but eventually I tried the cinnamon raisin bread, and that was really, really good. Now, also not something that I probably would eat after each resupply. I probably would change things up, but the cinnamon raisin bread was really, really tasty. Moving on to lunch. At first, when I started hiking, I didn't really have a lot of lunch, and even at the end of my hike, I decided not to have a lot of lunch, but that is really not a good idea. I do firmly believe having lunch is much healthier, and I realized every time I had lunch, I felt a lot better. So what did I eat for lunch? There were a few different options. I would often get tortillas, right? Or I would often get tortillas, and at the beginning I tried tortillas with pepperoni. Very, very tasty. However, the pepperoni did not agree with my stomach whatsoever. I don't really want to go into detail on what the pepperoni did to me, but I'm sure you can imagine. Another choice is eating tortillas with peanut butter. I found that really, really tasty. Some people get tired of it. I switched it up enough so that whenever I would eat a tortilla with peanut butter, it was really, really good. The other thing that I would eat for lunch would be bagels. So I would buy bagels, and I know some of you ultralight people think bagels is just too heavy. For me, food was the one thing that I decided to be okay with when it comes to weight. And bagels are really tasty, and they provide enough calories, and yeah, they were a logical choice. You usually can find plain bagels or everything bagels or blueberry bagels in a normal store. I started out with blueberry bagels, and then I would buy some cheese or some cold cuts to put onto the bagel. Cheese was really good at the beginning of the hike as well as on the end of the hike because of the temperature. During the summertime, the cheese wasn't really a great option. Now, I did find that the sharp cheddar cheese usually stayed harder for a longer time, so that was a good choice when it comes to cheese that doesn't melt easily. The other thing I did one time, I did end up buying a jar of Nutella, and I would put the Nutella onto the bagels. I think I did that only in one resupply, and I honestly was a little bit tired of the Nutella afterwards. The other thing that I would eat at lunch, at times, not every single day, would be ramen. I would eat ramen noodles during lunch. Sometimes I'd add some peanut butter into the ramen. I know this might sound a little bit gross, but it actually tastes not bad. Or I would add some protein. There's these little chicken packets, and I just would put that in there. I didn't eat any tuna while I was hiking. Not really sure why. I guess I was worried about smells, and I'm not really like a super tuna fan. Moving on to the evening. The evening is probably one of the more simple answers for me, because in the evening I would splurge on dehydrated meals. Not sure why. I think I just didn't want to spend time thinking about all these fancy things I could be making for the evening, and I thought dehydrated meals were my better choice with making it easy, and often they were not bad when it comes to how they tasted. I do have two favorite dehydrated meals. Number one is from Backpacker's Pantry, the chicken pad thai. I'm not sure I even have to say why. You can ask many people. The chicken pad thai is amazing. It tastes so good, you would not even realize it is a dehydrated meal, to be honest. It comes with a peanut butter packet, it comes with a lemon packet. It just is so good. And honestly, I could eat the chicken pad thai probably almost all of the time. It is that good. The second favorite dehydrated meal that I would really enjoy was the chicken pho from Good to Go. I seem to really like Asian food, but the chicken pho is good. It's like a soup. You add a lot of water in it. It's a nice little like noodle soup with some pieces of chicken. The one downside to Good to Go meals, and this is not just for the chicken pho, since chicken pho is soup, but for all the other meals that are not soup, Good to Go meals require so much water, way more water than any of the other meals that I've ever tried. So keep that in mind when you buy Good to Go. You will need to make sure you bring extra water into camp, and I always had to consider that when I had the Good to Go meals, that I needed to bring more water. But the chicken pho is delicious. I did try out just a few things for the evening time, independent from dehydrated meals. Cheese Ball ended up finding this amazing couscous. It was pearl shaped, pearl sized, or whatever, pearled couscous, and it was with herbs and basil, I believe. And that is so good. All you do is you put the couscous into a Ziploc bag, you add water in it, you let it soak, and ta-da, it really is so good. That would be one of the things that I'd definitely do again, and it's way more inexpensive than a dehydrated meal. Because let's be honest, dehydrated meals are extremely expensive. The other thing that I tried was the mac and cheese. It didn't really work for me. I tried the Kraft and I tried another one with shells. I don't remember what that was. It just never tasted good. It just sometimes was too liquidy and sometimes the flavor was just not good. I know little chap tried the mac and cheese one time. I mean, he tried it a few times, but it was one time when I was actually with him, more in the later time of the hike, when I started hiking with him just a little bit. He tried some mac and cheese and it worked for him and he really, really enjoyed it. And then let me tell you the one thing that I absolutely cannot stand eating, and I was extremely disappointed, and if you watched my videos, you know after day one that instant potatoes were the most disgusting thing for me. I'm sorry for all those people that love instant potatoes. They were just not for me. And I was really hoping they would be for me because I wanted to be gluten-free. The first night I tried some instant potatoes, I literally wanted to throw up. And I decided no more instant potatoes until later on I was with Cheeseball and Fox and they tried to do like a ramen bomb. And a ramen bomb is really just ramen noodles with some instant potatoes, and maybe you want to throw something else in there, but ultimately it's ramen with instant potatoes. And I was like, okay, let me try that again. Didn't taste good again. I'm not sure why I thought it would taste any better. I thought maybe with the noodles it would be different. No. And then the third time I tried instant potatoes was when Cheeseball decided to do the basil couscous with some potatoes. I'm like, okay, I'll try that. I'm sure this has to taste good. Again, it makes me want to regurgitate. That is how bad the instant potatoes is for me. So I really recommend for you to try out the instant potatoes before you go on trail. I mean, or any food. You really should try any food before you get on trail, just so that you know what it is that you like or dislike. Now, when it comes to just snacking throughout the day, at the beginning of my hike, I snacked a lot. I did beef jerky, I did a lot of bars, I like Lara bars, I like some Cliff bars. They're not really the ones that I really enjoy, but there were some Kind bars that were really good. Then midway through my journey, I didn't really snack anymore. I'm not sure why. It's not like I increased my calorie intake that dramatically, but I stopped eating a lot of snacks. I would buy them, and sometimes when I was a little bit extra hungry, if I was extra hungry, I would eat them. But I think it kind of came down to just having breakfast, lunch, and evening in the end. So I hope this was a sufficient food video. Ultimately, it is what I was eating. So I know there's a lot of hikers that have all kinds of different ideas, what they ate and what they recommend and what they don't recommend. I'd highly recommend that you check out other YouTube videos about food. Hopefully there are some other videos. I'm sure Homemade Wanderlust has a video. She has videos for everything. And so definitely play around with food. I know that Fox liked to eat a lot of Spam. I loved eating Spam as well, but only when they come in single packets. When they come in that full piece, it also did not seem very appetizing for me, but I know the single packets were really good. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for following my channel. If you are new, kindly subscribe. If you don't wanna, that's okay too. You can just Google me at some other point if it's even something you want to do. And those that have continuously followed me, thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you will ever know.